your mind and your thinking. So if you learn how to think properly, you change the external reality. So consciousness functions in three ways. That's why that's why there's an eye in a triangle. The eye symbolizes the awareness behind the mind, the person who is observing your mind. Who is the one observing your thoughts? Who is the one observing your emotions? Who is the one who feels the emotions? Who is the one seeing the screen you call life and reality? So think of it like this. There is an awareness behind your mind. The observer, that's the eye. That's the all-seeing eye. And that eye expresses itself through thinking, feeling, and acting. That is the eye in the triangle. Consciousness expressed in three ways. But essentially, this is showing you the truth that the I, the three is one. Thought creates emotion. What you think is what you feel. If you think about something bad that's happened in your life, what do? You start to feel that emotion. And you start to act out that emotion by crying. So essentially, these three forces, thought, emotion, and action, are actually one. It is the one force expressed in three. And this is why there is a holy trinity of the Bible. Jesus, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Jesus, the Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit. It's all the same knowledge. It's basically how consciousness expresses itself. Human consciousness expresses itself through generator, operator, destroyer, God, which is mind, soul, and body, which is thought, emotion, and action. So, God, the Father, generator, the mind, the Holy Spirit, the operator, the soul, the Son, the physical body. It's showing you how consciousness creates. That's why there's Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the creator, preserver, and destroyer. So it's all talking about the same thing. It's all talking about consciousness, but religion just hides this behind allegory and symbols. The truth is concealed behind symbols. Religion is a symbol. You just have to read beyond the lines. So, let's go back to this. So I told you that Freemasonry is a craft, and that craft is about self-mastery. You're crafting a higher mind, a more mastered mind, a more controlled mind, and a more aware mind. So everything you're seeing here on this Freemasonic piece of artwork, you have your two pillars, your archway, your checkerboard floor, the stairs. This is all symbolic of states of mind, states of mentalism, of consciousness. This is talking about consciousness, human consciousness. So, like I just showed you, that here it is. This is the pillars. This is Trump, Donald Trump. You have your two pillars. These are called Jachin and Boaz. This is your dualistic checkerboard floor, and this is your archway. And it's all Freemasonic. So this is your two pillars. Here's the coffin. Here's the archway. Here's the checkerboard floor. Now, what does this mean? This is the juicy part. This is where things get deep. He's showing you truth in plain sight. What does this mean? Okay? What does this actually mean? So, let's start. We always go from the ground up, because what is Freemasonry? Freemasonry is a craft, and it's mason. The word mason means to build. And building, what are we building? Each one of us are a builder. We build reality. We all contribute towards the building project of Earth and humanity. We're all building something here. We're all contributing towards the world. We're builders, we're creators. And every day you wake up, you're building on your mind. You're either freeing your mind, you're either building freedom, or you are building your mind's prison. Every day. every thought, every action, you're either building your mind's prison or freeing it from the three-dimensional realm, right? So you're a builder. Everyone's a mason, but you're just not an initiated Freemason. So everyone's a mason, everyone's a builder, everyone's a creator. We create three ways: thinking, feeling, and acting. We think, we feel, we act. So we're building something. As a Freemason, you are a builder, and that your job is to build a better mind. So, what is the word mason? Freemason comes from stonemasonry, stonemasons. Stonemasons are people who chip stone, carve away at stone, make beautiful structures like this. This is all stonemasonry. You get a piece of stone and you carve it. But the stone is allegory for your mind. So you're carving your mind. You're perfecting your mind, your thought processes. So, what are they trying to show you? Let's get into this. So you need the context before I break this symbolism down. This is why I'm going so deep into the context before you understand these symbols. So it's about raising consciousness, enlightening the mind, and gaining self-mastery over the mind, right? So this piece of symbolism is talking how you build the Temple of Solomon. The Temple of Solomon is you. Because in Freemasonry, the system goes from 1st degree to 33rd degree. Well, it goes from 1st degree to 3rd, then from the 3rd degree you enter another system called Scottish Rite, and then from there it goes from the 3rd degree all the way up to the 33rd. So, it's showing you how to build the Temple of Solomon, which is you, because you are the broken temple. The reason why you are the broken temple because you've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten why you're here in this physical realm. You don't understand who you are before this. Your mind is divided. So the Temple of Solomon is your body. It is a temple of your soul. Solomon is sol meaning sun, mon meaning moon. So the sol is masculine, the sun, and the moon is feminine. So the Temple of Solomon is the temple of the masculine and feminine forces of consciousness. You are the Temple of Solomon. You have to rebuild the Temple of Solomon in Freemasonry. That's what it's about. And you're rebuilding your mind. So these symbols here are about rebuilding your mind from the ground up, because in order to build a structure, in order to build a building, what do? You build the foundation. You build the foundation first, then you rise upwards. So this symbolism, this piece of symbolism that you'll learn about when you get the book, is teaching you how to rebuild your mind. And it is symbolic of states of consciousness. You'll learn all about this when you get the book. So first we start from the ground up, because you got to build upwards. So it's about going from earth to heaven, the ground to the sky, the ground to the sky, because the ground produces no light. No light, the ground, the earth produces no light. All the light comes from above, and the light is symbolic of clarity of mind, understanding. Because if I put you in a dark room with no light, you can't see. That's symbolic. So you can't see. Your mind is in darkness. Your mind doesn't understand who you are, what the mind is, what consciousness is, why I'm here, what I'm doing on this place. You're in darkness. So that's the coffin. So this coffin down here symbolizes the beginning of your spiritual awakening. So this is the beginning of your journey. You begin in the coffin. What is the coffin? A coffin symbolizes unconsciousness. I am live. Yes, I am live. I'm just going deep on this. So there's no coffin here in this piece of artwork, but I'm going to show you. Okay? This is the book of symbolism we're going over. You can get it in my bio. You'll learn all about this when you get the book. You explain the meaning of the symbolism, not why they show it, because the meaning is more important. The reason they show it is because these people are Freemasons and they are mastered. They have mastered themselves. So, we're going from the ground up. When we're building a temple, we're building on our mind. We're trying to construct a higher mind, a more mastered mind. So, this symbolizes unconsciousness. When you are in the coffin, it basically represents someone who does not know they exist. An NPC. When you walk down the street, you run into someone, you see someone, they don't even realize they exist. They just take life for granted. They don't even realize what creation is. They're stuck in darkness. Their mind is so trapped. You know, they're in the coffin, they're unconscious. They don't even live consciously. They're living off programs. They're living off subconscious impulses. Okay? Now, don't get offended if this is you. This is the beginning of your journey. That's fine. We're all in different stages. Okay? So this is the coffin. This represents when someone lives in a state of unconsciousness. They don't even know they exist. They take life for granted. They don't know what creation is. They don't know who they are, what they're doing, and how they create reality. That is the coffin. That's when you basically... you have no realization of what you are. You don't even know you possess consciousness. Okay? So that's the coffin. But when you get out the coffin, that symbolizes your spiritual awakening. The spiritual awakening is when you realize, okay, I actually possess consciousness. I am more than this physical body. This symbolizes you getting out of this coffin, getting out of that state of unconsciousness. And when you get out of that state of unconsciousness, you step on the checkerboard floor. Even though you've gotten out, you've taken the first step. This is the step. You see the step up, because this is on the ground, and you see this this leaf growing. Because this symbolizes a seed growing into a tree to the light. The growth of a tree symbolizes the spiritual journey from the ground to the heavens, from the ground to the sun, to the light, from darkness to light. So this is from a state of unconsciousness when someone doesn't realize they exist. They just unknowingly create their reality. They take everything for granted. They don't know they exist. They live unconsciously. They don't realize what thoughts are, emotions, or actions. So when you get out the coffin, you take your first step, you start to spiritually awaken. Why don't you ship worldwide? We do now. We are finally on Amazon. You can get the Book of Symbolism on Amazon.com. You'll learn all about this when you get the book. But you can also get it in my website, Book of Symbolism. So when you get out here, you get onto the checkerboard floor. Explain the sun and moon. Okay, so we're going from the ground up because this is how the symbolism works. Because this is Freemasonry, and Freemasonry is a craft. The craft is about constructing a higher mind, but it uses the allegory of stonemasonry. Stonemasonry is about perfecting stones to build a temple. And in order to build the structure, you have to build from the ground up. So it's about this is your spiritual journey. So when you get out the coffin, you start to realize you possess consciousness. You possess consciousness. You spiritually awaken. So when you spiritually awaken, you then take your first step on the checkerboard floor. The checkerboard floor represents the state you are now aware of. Even though you have awoken, this does not mean you possess a higher consciousness. It just means now you are aware of your state of consciousness, and it's very bad. You think, you feel, and act divided. So this is division. You realize you are in division. You are in squares. Squares symbolizes limitation. They symbolize the material reality. Basically, the checkered board floor represents a state of a state of consciousness where your light and dark are fighting each other, aspects of yourself. Your conscious and subconscious are fighting each other. You're in a state of division. This represents a state of mind the individual's in. So when you walk down the street, your mind is constantly in a division state of thinking. You see people as threats, you judge people, you say this person's, I could hurt this person and that and wish not. That's division consciousness. Because in truth, we are all one consciousness experiencing itself. You're still in the divided mindset. So that's the divided checkered board floor. Even though you've got out the coffin, you're now only just aware that you're in a lower consciousness. You're in divided consciousness. Your brain and heart are fighting with each other on the chessboard. Your brain, your heart, the two pillars. These are the two pillars of life. How do you experience life? You experience it with two ways. You think and you feel through life. So the checkered board floor represents the mind and the heart battling each other. Have you ever had them moments where your mind's telling you one thing, but your heart's telling you to do another? Your feelings telling you to do another? So that's the state of division that consciousness is in when you realize you get out the coffin. So in the coffin, you don't even realize you're in a divided state of consciousness because you're so unconscious and don't even realize you possess awareness. You take everything for granted. You're in darkness. But when you get out the coffin, you stand on the checkered board floor, you then realize I'm divided. There are parts of myself I'm hiding to fit in with society. I'm not whole. As a child, you were whole. Did you care about someone judging you? No. You thought, you think, you act as a child. You had no limitations in your mind. This division checkered board floor represents that division. It is the division in the mind. It is the division between the mind and the heart and the actions, thought, emotion, and action. So, how do we get out of this state? How do we get out of this battle of division consciousness, divided thinking, divided mind and heart? How do we get out of that? We unify. That's what this bridge is. The bridge is building the bridge between Jacking and Boaz. The unification of duality. I want to say thank you to the person who just purchased, I think it was 3 books. Hold on, let me just double check. I want to say thank you to Laurie Bollard for purchasing the Book of Symbolism hardcover and Book of Wisdom Volume 2 exclusive hardcover. Thank you. Okay. So, as you go up, you're in divided consciousness. Now you need to unify. So you see how this is going upwards. Look here. Look at the zodiac signs we have. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra. Does anyone know what season this is? What part of the year is this for the Northern Hemisphere anyway? For the Northern Hemisphere, what does this represent? Can anyone know? Summer. From Aries to Libra is the half of the year where there is more light. Spring and summer, yes, very well said. So this part of the year, there is more light. So you see now, the Freemasons are not showing you zodiac signs, they're showing you light. They haven't put the other half of the year here. They haven't put this part of the year. They showed you spring to autumn. They didn't show you autumn to spring because this is darkness. Remember, we're going from darkness, the coffin, to light. Darkness to light. This is a state of mind we're going from. We're transforming and evolving our mind through this process of self-mastery. We're going from the darkness, the coffin, to the light of the spring and summer. This is why they've showed these zodiac signs, because these zodiac signs, this is where the sun is most powerful. So this is basically showing you, right, unification between the sun and the moon. The sun represents things that are conscious, things you can visibly see, because the sun produces light and allows the eyes to see into the world. But symbolically, the sun represents things you can see. So this sun pillar, this left pillar, represents things you can visibly see, the physical body. It can also represent thoughts. You're conscious of thoughts. It can also be the physical body, the external world. So this is the external world. This is the internal world. The moon is darkness. The moon is in nighttime. And what happens at nighttime? Your consciousness goes inward. When you wake up, your consciousness goes outward into the external world. This body is outside my mind. So this is the world in the mind. This is the world outside the mind. Outside the mind, inside the mind. And we're unifying. This is also representative of the two pillars of life. The mind and heart. Thought and feeling. So we're unifying the masculine and feminine aspects of ourselves, the light and dark aspects of ourselves, the conscious mind with the subconscious mind. Because how do you go from darkness to light? So we go from unconsciousness, the checkerboard floor. The checkerboard floor represents unconsciousness. When you're unconscious, you don't realize you exist. Then when you realize you exist, you spiritually awaken. Then you realize you're divided. You're in a divided state of consciousness. You're now self-aware, but you don't realize. Now you need to build the bridge. Unification between the masculine and feminine. It also represents unifying the left and right hemisphere of the brain, because this allows you to see clearly. Not see as in visibly see with your eyes, but I mean mentally see. To see without illusion and distortions. Most people are left brain dominated, which creates them to see things as divided. If you're left hemisphere dominated, you see everything and everyone as divided. We're just each individual persons. But the right hemisphere sees everything holistically. The right hemisphere sees everyone unified. If you're walking through a woods, the right hemisphere sees the whole woods, but the left hemisphere sees individual trees and branches. So it's also symbolizing aligning the left and right hemisphere to see more clearly. Hence why there is the light here. The zodiac signs where there is more light, symbolizing clarity. When there is light, you can see properly. When there is no light, you cannot see. This is all talking about the internal perception. Okay, so that's what this represents. We're stepping off the checkered board floor to unification. The two pillars. Why isn't Pisces in that? Because Pisces is in the season of darkness. This represents the season of light. We're going from darkness to light. This is a state of mind. Okay. And this is a chessboard. And when you're on this chessboard, low consciousness, you are easily manipulated when your mind and heart is not unified. When your mind and heart is not unified, you become easily manipulated. So you get moved like a chess piece. You'll see the symbolism everywhere. Now, why do we see 7 stars here? The G. The G represents the number 7 because G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. And why is there a G? Because the G represents 7, and 7 is the number of mind. There are 7 cognitions of the mind that must be developed. The 7 cognitions of the mind. Okay. Sorry, let me just sort something. You see this everywhere. So these 2 pillars represents the path to enlightenment, the person who steps between them. When you walk in between these 2 pillars, it represents entering in your own mind. The path of initiation. So this is why you see it here. The 2 pillars and a pathway. The 2 pillars and a person. Because this symbolizes the person who has been initiated. They've been initiated into the order, into a secret society, which represents entering in your own mind and learning about the functions of the human mind. Okay, so the G the Freemasons use the G because it represents the number 7. And the 7 represents the 7 cognitions of the mind. Perception, attention, thought, memory, emotion, imagination, and awareness. They are the 7 cognitions of the mind that must be developed. Perception, attention, thought, memory, emotion, imagination, and awareness. So when you develop these aspects of the mind, your mind becomes on a higher level. The G also represents the principle that creates your reality, which I've talked about many times. So why did the Masons use an all-seeing eye? What does this all-seeing eye represent? Well, this eye represents the eye that's inside of everyone, the observer of your mind. The observer of your mind. Who is observing your mind? Who is the one observing your thoughts, feeling your feelings, seeing the screen of reality right now? There is a witness of your mind, person who listens to your thoughts, listens to the voice inside your head. That's the inner witness, that's the I, that's the self. So, it's the awareness, right? So that's why they symbolize an eye, because this is ultimately clarity. It's symbolizing chasing the eye, because an eye is also symbolic of perception, perceiving. And that's what Masonry is about. It's about gaining a higher perception. So if you don't understand these symbols, please start studying symbolism. It will completely change your life. Symbolism is not about symbolism. Symbolism is about you. This unlocks teachings about you. The eye symbolizes perception. The reason why the eye is above everything else is because that's what Masons are chasing. A higher perception of themselves. A higher understanding of their mind, consciousness, reality, the universe. So we're chasing the I. We're chasing a higher version of ourselves, a higher perception of reality. But what does the I need? The physical eye requires light to visibly see. In Freemasonry, light is symbolic of knowledge. When someone's very smart, you say, oh, they're a very bright person. So knowledge is light, because light allows the eyes to see, and knowledge allows the mind to see clearly, to perceive clearly. So the eye represents perception. We're chasing a higher perception, but that requires light, knowledge. Gnosis. Yes, very well said, Alexander. Gnosis. Gnosis is not knowledge. Gnosis is knowledge obtained through direct experience. Right now, you don't believe you're watching this. You know you're watching this. It's seeking direct knowingness through experience. And you can have out-of-body experiences which give you gnosis. For me, for example, I know I never die. I don't believe that. I used to believe that until I had the experiences. I know for a fact I never die. You never die. Because I've had gnosis, direct experiences where I've been outside my physical form. That's gnosis. That's the difference. And when you have your first out-of-body experience, you realize fear can no longer control you. The fear of death can no longer control you. I don't fear someone killing me. I don't fear anything because I know I'm eternal. So that's gnosis. So did you do out-of-body experience? What was that? Using hypnosis. Well, yeah, it's getting into a trance-like state. Entrance. Look at the word entrance, right? Entrance. In trance. En means in Spanish and French. In. So the word entrance means in trance. Because in order to access an out-of-body experience, you have to dissolve the mind and body. The mind must enter a light trance. So this is the entrance, which is the symbols of the Jachin and Boaz pillars, symbolizing the sun and the moon, symbolizing awake and asleep. A trance is where you are in the middle between awake and asleep. The body and mind are dissolved, but awareness is still there. And you enter a trance, and you can access out-of-body experiences. So entrance symbolizes an entrance into an alternative reality. The truth is in the word, in trance. An entrance to an alternative reality, you have to get into a trance. Stranger Things will tell you that. Stranger Things reveals a lot of truth. If you've ever watched Stranger Things, Eleven has to go in the bath salt, in a bath filled with salt and water. Why? Because it dissolves the sensation of the body. She plays certain frequencies to dissolve the sensation of the body. So the awareness can be dissolved and then combined. And that's what the Baphomet literally tells you to do. Where's the Baphomet? Here. Look at what the Baphomet has. The Baphomet has Solve Coagula. This means dissolve and combine. That's how you have out-of-body experiences. You have to dissolve the mind and body, connecting with pure awareness, and combine with a different reality. An astral realm, a dream world, and out-of-body experiences. And it's also alchemy. Yes, it's also alchemy. Dissolve the old mind and combine with the new information to transform the mind. The Baphomet is also showing you fire, wings, air, fish scales, water, and the earth. Earth, water, air, fire. That's the process of waking up. Earth, water, air, fire. Earth represents the physical state of consciousness. Water represents the emotional. Air represents the mind. Fire represents the spirit, pure awareness. As above, so below. Everyone's scared of this symbol. This is why there's so many people, going crazy about the Baphomet. The Baphomet is a symbol, just like the eye is a symbol. It's just a symbol. You can see the symbol in a demonic way or a positive way. It has good aspects of itself, bad aspects of itself, but it's showing you. The goat represents the lower mind. That's not good. Yes, I agree. The lower mind, the animalistic states of consciousness, and then you have fire, which is the higher mind. Higher mind, lower mind. As above, so below. This is why your head's called a temple, because your head is the temple of God. It is the temple of consciousness. Consciousness is God. We are all the same awareness, but that awareness is in the belief and in the veils of the mind. Each one of us are the same awareness. If you turn off your thoughts, who are you then? If you turn off your mind, who are you? Well, you're pure awareness. That awareness is in me, the dog, the squirrel, the you. We're all the same awareness, just wrapped in different memories, traumas, beliefs in the mind. The mind is the veil that separates us. If you remove the mind through meditation, you connect with the same universal consciousness, awareness. We're all one consciousness. And that's what the Book of Wisdom Volume 2 will teach you. The eye in the triangle. A lot of people are scared of this one. Or follow Jesus. Following Jesus, it doesn't really get you anywhere. I will be honest. Religion is a tool for control. Because they don't want you understanding the functions of the mind. So, what is this showing you? Thought, emotion, action. The three ways awareness expresses itself. Consciousness expresses itself in three ways. Thought, emotion, action. Thinking, feeling, and acting. Thinking, feeling, and acting. Which means, why is there an I in the middle? Because awareness is one force. Consciousness is pure force. And that force expresses itself in three ways. The mind, emotion, and body. The brain, the heart, and the physical body. So, there is one I because this represents the number 1 and the triangle represents the number 3. It is 1 expressed in 3. And that's how you become a true creator. If you want to create a reality fast, quick, you want to change your life instantly, have unity consciousness where you think, feel, and act instantly as one force. If you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions towards one goal, you create that reality. But if you divide your thought, feelings, and actions, you'll have divided attention and divided actions. Your mind thinks you want to create a business, your emotions tell you you're sad, and your body is acting, scrolling on TikTok. That's divided consciousness. But if you align your thought, your emotion, the care, and action all towards one goal, you have unity consciousness. that instantly creates the reality faster. And now I'm not saying that's easy to do, because it is quite difficult to have unity consciousness all the time, but you know, unity consciousness. But what are the Satanists trying to show you here with the skull and bones? 50k likes. You know what? We hit 50k likes. I'm going to drop a coupon code so you can save some money ordering this piece of information that will dramatically change your life. Because again, symbols are not about symbols. It's talking about human consciousness. Human consciousness. If you do not understand symbols, you're walking through life like a headless chicken. They're everywhere. Company logos, everywhere. Everything is symbolism. Everything. Everything is symbolism. It's the reason they don't teach you this in school. They don't teach you symbols. Why? Why? Think about that. Why don't they teach you symbolism? But when you watch the news, it's filled with symbolism. You watch films filled with symbolism. Stranger Things filled. Power. Any Netflix series filled with symbolism. But you're sat there thinking, what are they trying to show me? When you learn the symbols, you see beyond the veil. And you become extremely, extremely powerful. Extremely powerful when you understand these symbols are actually aspects of the human mind. And the human mind is holding power over your creation. Mind over matter. Mind over matter. How has this helped you? When you understand the human mind, and you understand that matter is an expression of mind, and matter and mind are not separate, you realize mind holds significant power over reality. Reality is shaped by the mind. And when you learn all the different aspects of the mind through symbolism, that's what symbolism is, symbolizing aspects of the mind, you become extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. We have hit 54,000 likes. Insane. Amazon has finally accepted my books. I couldn't get my books on anywhere for ages on Amazon, but they finally accepted it, which is amazing. So you can find my books on Amazon. The Book of Symbolism by Revival of Wisdom. Or you go to my website and use this code, because with the Book of Symbolism, you get a free PDF explaining how to create reality. Exactly how to create reality. So every Book of Symbolism sold gets instantly sent to you a free PDF. Instantly. So while you're waiting for the book to be sent to you, you get a free PDF called Ultimate Guide to Create Reality. So if you want a code, let me know in the comments. If not, you don't want a coupon code, we'll just carry on. Can you buy that PDF? It's for free with the book. So with the Book of Symbolism, you get the free PDF to create reality. Okay, we all want the code. Okay, the code is, I'm going to put it up for the next 5 minutes. I'm going to turn it off at 21 past. 21 past, it's 16 past now. I'm going to turn off the code. So, the code is UNITY, all capital letters. You're going to save yourself 30%. The code is UNITY. UNITY. In fact, I'll put it on for the next 10 minutes. So for the next 10 minutes, you can save yourself 30%. and you get the free book with this. Anyways, click the link in the bio. It takes you straight to my website. That code only works on my website, not Amazon. That code only works on my website, not Amazon. If your country is not listed on my website, go over to Amazon, order it there. Book of Symbolism. Two seconds. Hold on. I will be back. 2 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. Do you mention numerology? Or we do touch on numerology, but again, you have to think in terms of the mind. In terms of the mind, numerology is all mental. What do you think about Rudolf Steiner? I think he's great. He's great to start off your journey and get some great teachings off. But I'm telling you now, it goes a lot deeper than Rudolf Steiner. He has amazing I haven't read all of his books, so I can't, comment on all of his work. He is absolutely amazing. For sure. Okay, what does the snake and the pole represent? The snake and the pole, we have that somewhere. It is the unity of opposites. Transformation. Here it is. So we have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left until the code Unity will be taken down and you can no longer save 30%. Revivalofwisdom.com, link is in the bio. So the snake and the pole represents transformation, because the snake can shed its skin. So if you look at a snake, it sheds its skin. It can renew itself. So it's about renewing, renewal, transforming, shedding layers. That's what Freemasonry is about. It is about transforming the mind, removing veils in the mind, to remove the veils of the mind, to open up the light of the true self, so you can understand who you truly are, which is pure awareness. So the pole represents from the ground upwards, and the snake is going up the pole. The snake is a symbol of transformation. It is a symbol from going from one state to another. The evolution of the human mind, the unveiling, the removing of layers of illusions in our mind, so we can reveal who we truly are beyond our mind. It's also a symbol of Kundalini, the pole symbolizing the central axis of the spinal cord, and the snake representing the Kundalini energy raising from the sacrum to the middle of the brain. Okay, so we have 3 minutes left until that code is over. 3 minutes. You can get it on my website or on Amazon.com, but this code only works on revivalofwisdom.com. It's called the Book of Symbolism. Book of Symbolism. The Vatican is a snake. If you look at the Vatican, if you look at outside the Vatican, it looks like a snake. This is a snake. Because the snake represents self-transformation. It's why Buddha rests on top of the snake. This is why there is a snake in the Garden of Eden. Because the snake represents, it is the symbol of self-transformation, the evolution of the human mind. What is anxiety? Anxiety is the mind in the future too much. Your mind is not centered in the present. Your mind is focused on the future. Depression is the mind focused on the past. So snakes also represent the movement of energy, because energy waves move like a sine wave. So they also represent the transmission of energy, ether, and they also represent self-transformation, because they renew themselves. This is why you see the snake biting its tail, because the snake is cursed. The snake is not cursed. That was done purposefully. So this represents how everything in the universe is eternal. Every ending is a new beginning. Every death is a birth. Everything is transformed. That's why the snake is a symbol of transformation, because it sheds skin. It removes layers. It's a symbol of how the universe is actually unity. Everything is transforming. Consciousness never dies. It only evolves. The evolution of consciousness. When death comes, the only thing that truly matters is the level of consciousness you have attained and the degree of self-mastery you have cultivated. Mastery of the soul is the only thing that counts in the end. If you leave this life without self-mastery, you will return to the physical cycle and repeat the lessons of existence until they are learned. But if you evolve and transform, you pass onward to greater cycles of consciousness. There are two paths in life, the path of ignorance or the path of seeking. This is why the Egyptians had a snake on their head, symbolizing transforming the mind. And the headdress is blue and gold, symbolizing the sunrise, because the sunrise represents the renewal of light, the rebirth. It is about rebirthing the mind, removing veils, removing illusions to release the higher self, the light of the true self. So this is the sunlight symbolizing enlightenment, true knowingness, and the rebirth of the mind. Who is the author? I am the author of the books. I wrote these myself. Yes, I wrote these myself. Okay, so there's literally Unity will get you this 30% off. Truth. Yes, thank you, Psychic Medium Mel. Do you have a YouTube? We do have a YouTube, yeah. We got Revival of Wisdom on YouTube, and we also have Revival of Symbolism, which is a symbolism channel. That's why they look like a snake also, because it's all symbolic of self-mastery, self-transformation, renewal of the mind. Lions, massive symbols in today's world. You see the lions everywhere. You see it on the United Kingdom coats of arms. It's symbolizing power, dominance, because the lion is one of the most fearless animals there is out there. So a lion is also a symbol of the soul, a quality of the mind that we can have, which is courage, fearlessness, the conqueror of fear. So symbols also, lion symbols represent removing fear from the mind, because fear is the mind killer. Fear is the mind killer. The book, for everyone asking, the book is called, it's the book that I wrote myself, Book of Symbolism. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it on my website and use the code UNITY, all caps. Just purchase. You're going to absolutely love it. When it comes, you'll be so happy. Where do you get your information from? I've been researching. Let's put my phone down for a second. I've been researching this stuff for a while. Yeah, I just like privacy. I'm a very private person. The seed of life. How does one remove fear? By affirming the opposite of fear. You have to train yourself to think differently, to think with power, to think in command. Because the universe only gives you what you are, not what you want. If you think negative, you receive more negative thoughts. If you think positive, you receive more positive thoughts. This is because the mind in the mental plane, whatever you think of, sends out ripples in the mental plane, in the thought plane, which your eyes cannot pick up. All around you is thought waves, thought energy, thoughts all surrounding you right now. And whatever vibration you put out into that field, you also receive back into your mind. If you place out there into the mental field thoughts of negativity and fear, you receive more back. If you place, you see, so the mind is always creating reality 24/7, 24 hours a day. When you go to sleep, you dream, your mind's still creating a reality. So yeah. Well, I'm going to love and leave you all here. Thank you all for coming on today. But basically, dreams are just materializations of your mind. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you on my YouTube. Make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube. I posted a lecture yesterday. It's been a pleasure. Hope you all learned something today. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing time. Take care of yourselves. Learn. Symbolism is the most important language you'll ever learn. When are you live again? Hopefully I'll go live again every day this week. Let's see. So turn on the notifications. But yeah, you can find my stuff everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Telegram. We have a Telegram channel. But yeah, thank you, everybody. I'll see you all in the next one. And take care. Take care.
Show you. Okay. All the different cards. Some are in the set, some are not. But these are all my paintings. It's a lot of work. I might release a second set. I don't know. But I still have to finish selling my first set. The second order, that is. But let go of the rush, trust the rhythm. So the right things will find you in time. This is the one. There. Ah, I put it away. But this is the card that we just saw. And I wanted to keep the texture of the paper, so I did not clean the images because I wanted the texture. Keep listening to the whispers of your soul. This one is very important because we don't do this. We don't speak to ourselves with kindness. You know, thank you. Hi, Iduma. So here. So that is be gentle with yourself as you heal. So that is just like I said, I did a 100-day challenge. Trust the way life is unfolding. Again, they are on there. Check out the link in my bio. I think that's what I'm supposed to say. Breathe deeply. This moment is enough. Even in the uncertainty, you are held. Every ending makes a space for a new beginning. Yes, absolutely. I actually prefer that because sometimes here TikTok is not that great. So the journey is just as important as the destination. So anyways, so these are my 100-day cards, and I made a set. I took 36 out of this and then made a set. I still have to see if I can create another set. Actually, I can make 3 sets. Anyways, these are my minis. I do SELL them. So message me. Iduma, this is what I painted just now.